Yo, what up? It's the back at it, yo. Episode 8. This is on my little What's Good segment. I'm doing these different episodes of various topics and stuff, breaking them down through various experiences of mine. And, you know, hopefully, see the message and everything that I'm trying to do and all my topics I speak about. So just check it out on What's Good right here. So this, I think right here, this one is episode, I think number 8. I'm correct. This one I've been meaning to talk about for a while. I've been very busy for the last couple of weeks and stuff. Super busy. Um, just work life, general life, living period. I'm a regular person. At the end of the day, just still doing, trying to do big things as always. Um, but this one specifically, I've been meaning to talk about for a long time and put out a full video about it. And this one is called Toxic Work Conditions and Environments. Um, over the years, I've dealt with various places working for them, and they have like various toxic employees, co-workers, and management, and everything of that nature. Somebody that's been working in the corporate world for some years, on and off, I could honestly say that the corporate America overall is toxic. Just the working environment, period, is toxic. Um, Prime example, I remember like a few years back. Matter of fact, not even that one. I remember just recently. Um, I was working for it was supposed to be like a living assistant nursing home place. Um, and doing a little housekeeping job. Just doing that because at that time I needed something real quick, fast, and when the bills that they start coming in, it's like, what can you do? So I figured, let me give this place a shot, whatever they're willing to hire, because nowadays, especially now, the job, market is a little kind of, challenging, a lot more challenging than it is compared to like previous years. But it's still doable. You can still be able to land something regardless. But even though it may not necessarily be something that you may want, but it'll definitely be something that you need at the time. But anyway, I get this job and everything else, and doing housekeeping work itself could be very labor inducing. They had us pretty much, the first couple of weeks it was cool. They had us pretty much, do the usual routine. They train us and everything else. But then it seems like after the second, I say about like the third week or so, cause I only stayed there for like about a month. All of a sudden they had us started doing all this extra stuff. I would overhear like the housekeeper supervisor. She would be kind of like buddy with one of the other housekeepers. Overhear them talking about me per se. They didn't think I heard them, and I did hear them, but I happened to be hidden by like the wall, and I guess they didn't really see me or anything. But you know, that's a toxic work environment. Period. Constant cattiness amongst the other. Uh, Not some of like my other co-workers that I know that worked with me in my housekeeping department, because some of the other ones I was pretty much cool with, but there was just everybody else, some of the other departments, throughout that whole facility, it was just basically some BS, constant. This one, he say, she say, that one, gossiping, this one, uh, uh, the workload itself started getting a little bit too much, to the point where it seemed like a lot of the departments throughout the whole building, from the housekeeping department, because we were the first department to start going downhill, all the way down to like the nursing and everything else. So people would get overswamped with work, people would burn out. It'll happen. All the other work will happen to fall back on the other employees, and it would just be a constant burnout, turnover rate. It would be a hostile environment. Um, Not only with the workload becoming more and more, the staff is getting shorter and shorter. Like I said, it was a constant revolving door. Working in conditions, where it's like certain in terms of like, for example, the equipment. Some of the equipment wasn't the best. A lot of the vacuum cleaners and stuff, they were pretty much trash, and that's just a prime example of a number of things that was wrong with that place, as well as other places that I've worked for over the years. Um, And a lot of times that come out to these places, usually the management. The management, most times, is always the one that's always either the worst out of all, or it could just be just overall just corporate period, or both. I feel like in a lot of cases it could be either or both, depending on what kind of company it is. Now, if it's a private business, it might be a little bit of a different story. But even then, whoever is the owner of that company, a lot of times it's usually their fault, you know, because for the simple fact they're supposed to make sure that whatever business they're running is running smoothly, the employees are happy, and they're pretty much well taken care of, and they have everything they need to be able to do the job and be able to do it well, and make sure that they have up-to-date equipment, make sure that they working in pretty much good environments, that they're comfortable, working in certain environments where there was like barely any AC. I'm even dealing with that now at a place I'm currently working at, where it's like the AC is like barely blows anything, the AC unit that they have throughout that whole restaurant that I'm working in right now is barely blowing anything. Meanwhile, it's okay for them to have a nice big air conditioner in front of because they got to cook in front of the grill, and they even have the other AC vent, which is on the floor, so they have that also working for them too. Ours is also on the floor too, but from where I'm at compared to where that AC vent is at on the floor is like almost virtually impossible to reach. And a lot of times we have to use a blower in order to make sure the air circulates. So, that's another example of me going through and just seeing inadequate, toxic environments, work conditions, from the previous job that I worked for, as well as what I'm even doing right now. I do this content creation thing part time too, so I'm just a regular cat just doing my thing each and every day. I'm no different than the next man, and I think a lot of times that's what people are afraid of, being just transparent like that. But back to this whole thing with the toxic work environment. These are things that always got to look out for. This constant cattiness, this constant gossiping amongst each other. It's almost like working in a high school atmosphere. Feeling like you're back in high school, because everybody feel like they could just pretty much just do like kid stuff, and either that or the work environment. The work just becomes too much. They want to keep lowballing people, not giving them great pay, which is a whole nother story. But the toxic work environment and conditions, it has to be done. This thing's been going on for too long enough. I'll be one of the first ones to be on the front line to basically be the ones to vouch for people that's calling out a lot of these places for their conditions. A lot of the environments are no good. On the management, a lot of times, and whoever's in charge overall, if there's a private company also, should be able to do a better job of making sure the employees and everything is well taken care of. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these places. These places, I think that a lot of them fail to realize the value of a lot of employees, and this is why a lot of them have a high turnover rate. Until a lot of these management companies stop the BS, get off their high horse, and basically stop being narcissistic and everything else, and start basically looking out for the employees first. It's going to be the same thing over and over, and the turnover rate is going to be a lot. A lot of these companies are really going to go under in the end, because at the end of the day, if it's not for the employees, then there wouldn't be no company. The company wouldn't be having no kind of success, and it wouldn't be running at all. And I think that's a lot of time that's the problem. Working in these environments that I've worked in, over the years and stuff, bad equipment, just basically even the way how the management and stuff treat the employees, overwork them, talk to them any old way, and all this nonsense. I feel like at the end of the day, we really have to start speaking up more about this, and really be more aware and understand that this thing is real, and the abuse has to stop from these companies, and these companies start treating people with a lot more better accord, and stop just stop it. because this is why a lot of people don't really want to work for these places like that. And it's not that all people are lazy, because not all people are lazy. There are people that still do want to work, but at the same time, when you have conditions like these that are deterring people see these things, it kind of deters other people from wanting to work for these places. That's the problem, and the problem always goes back to the management. The management, the owners of these companies, all these people that's in leadership positions that are thinking with their narcissistic ways and everything else, they need, they have to start putting their employees that have better interests, start looking out for the better interests of us employees, everybody else that's helping build your company. And I think once a lot of people start to realize and recognize that, and a lot of these people start to actually come to their senses and say, you know what, we got to start treating our employees better, make sure that they're taken care of, number one, and they're good, in all aspects, that's when the change will start to begin. But as long as these companies are still moving like how they move, these management companies not giving a crap about how the employees feel, it's going to be the same thing. But on the real, let me know what y'all think about this topic, about these toxic environments and conditions. Let me know about your experiences and everything else and what could be done. I feel like a lot of times we need to start speaking up more about this and start having more awareness about these toxic environments, because overall it's not good, and it helps create a lot of unnecessary drama, and it's just overall, it's just a bunch of BS that has to be taken care of overall. Let me know what y'all think about this. Like, subscribe, share at 82 Brooklyn 7 on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share 82 Brooklyn 7 on YouTube. 82 Brooklyn 7 on YouTube. 82 Brooklyn 7 Instagram. 82 Brooklyn 7 TikTok. Give me a holler. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me. Help. Share this video. Repost it. All of that. Check out more episodes coming up of What's Good. And on that note, I'm ID5 and peace.